The Great Cosmic Mother, rediscovering the religion of the earth. The world egg, yin and yang, the ancient Great Mother of all living, gave birth.
Parthenogenetically.
Parthenogenetically to herself and the entire cosmos. And parthenogetics is about self fertilization. She was the world egg containing the two halves of all polarities or dualisms, the yin yang of continuity and change, expansion and contraction of the universe. This process is symbolized by the spiral turning continuously in on itself, by conscious breath waking from sleep and sinking back into sleep. Kali or Uranim, dancing the universe into being and then to destruction and death. The ascending spiral is matter transforming into spiritual psychic energy. Simultaneously, from the descending spiral, the materialization of the spirit, comes the differentiation of the whole manifest world. The spiral involation, of energy into matter is the primary movement of the universe into created beings. The spirit evolution of matter into energy is the creative movement of these beings, consciously evolving back to their source. Inhaling and exhaling breaths of a living cosmos spirals the universe into creation and dissolution. Energy to matter, world to spirit. Radiant energy can be transformed into massive particles and vice versa. The spiral is the symbolic key to immortality or eternal process and is identified with the moon. Ancient as this cosmology is, it remains the most accurate statement of cosmic process yet made. 20th century physicists, using their very different mathematical language, have only been able to confirm these ancient conceptions of how the universe creates and recreates itself. The world egg's two halves were white and black, light and dark, day and night, hot and cold, life and death. It contained within itself all oppositions, but it also stated the union of opposites, as the continuum is contained and synthesized within the spiral. In the Orient, some early time in the millennia before our era, this idea was formalized in the concept of yin yang. Yin, or negative principle, originally referred to the dark or shadow side of a mountain. It shared attributes with the earth, moon, and water. Yang, or positive principle, signifying bright banners in the wind, or the light side of a mountain, was linked with the sky, sun, and fire. After several generations of Eastern philosophers, everything became classified under these categories, including the sexes. Yin was female, Yang was male. But this Eastern dualism differed originally from the moralistic dualism of the Christian West. Yin and Yang were not seen as hostile and irreconcilable opposites vying for control over the universe, nor was one good and the other evil. On the contrary, Yin and Yang constantly complement each other to maintain cosmic harmony. And they are not fixed, static principles, but transform each other and transmute into each other in an ongoing process. Without the eternal movements and interchanges of these forces, life would not exist. Winter, which is yin, changes into summer, which is yang. Both yin and yang can create, both can destroy. The life-giving sun, which can also scorch and kill life, gives way to the dark, barren cold of the earth, in which new life seeds will even invisibly germinate. The yin-yang images and conceptual categories are pagan from the land, since they emerge from close, prolonged experience and observation of natural processes. These processes are not linear, but cyclic. Life transmutes into death, which turns into life again, in a great revolving wheel. The moon goes through its changes, dies, and is reborn, because it circles in a circling cosmos. And so the moon, like the serpent, is the avatar of these processes. The psychic focus is not on the mutual antagonisms. The psychic focus is not on the mutual antagonisms, but on the subtle interchanges and permutations, the dance of the polarities. Later Mandarin philosophers like Confucius used the yin-yang principles to serve the the hierarch politics of the Chinese court and the patriarchal state, emphasizing dominant yang over submissive yin. Earlier Taoists, though, gave full value to the negative force or shadow side, yin, as a creative power equal to the yang. Taoism is a mystic and sexual religious philosophy originated in ancient Chinese matriarchy, which saw the male as the earth animal and the female as the animal of change or transforming principle. The original I Ching characters for the female and male principles, the receptive and the creative hexagrams, contained these matrifocal meanings also. As Western alchemists and later Western physicists were to conform, it is the negative pole that initiates the creative activity of matter. Some physicists theorize that the universe began to organize, gather shape and motion in the shadow sides of randomly scattered particles. Also, until recently, scientists have assumed that the weight of the universe was in bright stars and speedy particles. But now they have found enormous amounts of dark, cold matter circling the stars and all galactic bodies. And this matter is preponderant and responsible for the weight of the universe, which functions as gravity. As they report, the structure of the whole universe appears to be shaped by the gravity of dark matter. What has been called the dark, the negative, the female in both the celebratory and the pejorative senses is now seen to be the original creating and sustaining force of the universe. If the expanding universe is ever to contract again, it will be from the gravity of this dark matter. The corruption of the original yin-yang oracler I'm learning new words here. Oracular, or stuff that I don't say all the time. Oracular mystical synthesis, and I'm assuming that's about speaking here. Synthesis into a dualistic system of hierarchy, dominance, and oppression occurred in the East as in the West in the shift of human culture from land tribal to court hierarch, i.e., in the shift from matrifocal rural to patrifocal urban. Rural energy versus urban energy here. The urban energy is patriotic. The rural energy is matriotic. In the patriarchal struggle for property and power, the yin yang equation became a tool, a weapon of inequality and repression, both economic and sexual. Now, the yin, as a receptive feminine, was interpreted as sexual, intellectual, and spiritual passivity, inferiority, and subordination. Yang, as active masculine, was interpreted as sexual, intellectual, and spiritual aggression, superiority, and dominance. In the West, also, these religiously institutionalized sexual dualisms have created the idea of heterosexual patriarchal marriage, in which a sexually oppressed and economically dependent wife serves a sexually and economically dependent husband. I'm sorry, excuse me, I said that wrong. Serves a sexually and economically dependent husband. Okay, I want to read that sentence again. In the West, also, these religiously institutionalized sexual dualisms have created the ideal of heterosexual patriarchal marriage, in which a sexually oppressed and economically dependent wife serves a sexually and economically dominant husband. These concepts are highly political and serve to maintain and justify patriarchy and the subjugation of women. Yin wisdom is scorned by men as irrational weakness, and yang power is used to justify any kind of exploitative action, no matter how unjust and brutal. But these are not the original meanings of these terms. The original meanings apply to the interworkings of rather impersonal, and certainly non-domestic forces, much like the negative and positive electrical poles in a battery. This is what I was thinking when I was reading the first part of this chapter. As R. Buckminster Fuller put it, energy, when its potential is built to sufficient voltage, must arc over to the dominant negative. Okay? So, what I'm going to do is, when I find these shorter chapters, because of the word, I can read them, but, speaking these words, I don't speak like this all the time. And then there's a lot of, Greek references, ancient Greek references. But I'll work it out, as long as y'all have patience, okay? And so I'm going to be reading The Great Cosmic Mother. I'm not going to be going through every chapter and reading it, just things that stick out to me, mainly the shorter ones. I feel like what I'm going to do is probably buy a copy each for my daughters for Mother's Day. I did get my copy on Amazon, and there are other content creators who are actually reading the whole book. Cassandra Floyd is who I've been listening to here since I got this. Become aware of this book being in print from Lotus Flower and also Erica De Niro TV. So I don't know if you watch either one of those, but they're great channels, great content creators, serious about what they believe and trust in. And that is a divine mother oriented universe, which is exactly where I come from, and I know this, and I try to express that through my readings here on this channel. So if you have not subscribed yet to my daily or almost every day work on tarot readings, please go ahead and do so. And we'll see what sort of reaction we have. Alice Walker says one of the most important books I've ever read. I think it's very pertinent for everyone to dive into this information. Of course, you can listen to the audios of other content creators reading this online. And I'm just going to pick through and read particular chapters from my channel. And for those who listen in over here. But this energy resonates through my readings anyway, just naturally. All right. And then, of course, The name of the channel, The Divine Oracle, with the yin and yang symbol, which I just read this short chapter. So grab the book if you want. Listen to the audio. Just something to study here. Okay, it kind of relates to everything. I also recommended it to my youngest son, who will be coming home soon. And he's very interested in the way things are working out and the relation between the spiritual and the physical, okay, and the times that we're in right now. Also dealing with religion, okay, where all the Abrahamic, is that how you say it? Yeah, the Abrahamic, in my accent, religions come from, where they derive from, okay? And also the religions that focus on self-mastery, how that all comes together, and why and how it's separated. It will give you a better understanding. It's very simple, even though this book is very thick. But this is history, her story. Her story. Y'all be blessed. Stay grounded. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.